Okay, well, yo, it's Future Wolf here. Today, we're going to be doing a video on Ultimate Blair explaining his parts.
So,
Now, with
what's
that
my
being
role?
said,
Cook?
I have
Or
other plans for
arsonist?
other characters. For instance, Jaber, Ultimate Luna, Haley. I'm going to do a Valby build pretty soon. Dinah, I have her mobbing build pretty tight. So certain characters I'm only going to do certain ones because I feel like they're better in certain ways and I can give you guys better examples. But for Blair and Kyle, I gave you guys what I had. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. Sorry if I'm a little in a rush. I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to try my best to help you guys get a proper build going for Blair. Now, for his mobbing build, you're going to want to use this burning phase reactor. For both mobbing and bossing, I want to use a burning phase reactor. For mobbing, you can have more damage if you do, instead of skill critical hit damage, more fire or dimension. But for me, I am doing critical hit damage because I'd rather have crits right now. And I also have really hell cooldown, so it doesn't really matter per se. An extra probably 500,000 damage. Granted, that seems like a lot, but really not. Now, when you come over here, this is my burning phase reactor for my bossing. We'll get to that in a minute. You will see that my bossing is not completely done. It's just because I just got it and I have to upgrade it, but it takes a lot of components. I have to do a lot of work to get that, so it will be some time, but just make sure you have this completely maxed and have the additional skill attack up to, or you can, if you don't get if you don't get 2 golds like that one, you can easily update it, like upgrade it to max by going through the recommended slots in the Albion near the upgrading and stuff like that. Now, I'm using the Slayer set. I have max XP, max HP, max defense, defense. You don't have to worry about the weapons per se, but if you want, you can do a mobbing build. There is a bossing build for there is a gun build for Blair. Now, with that being said, we're going to talk about the mobbing. I want to also say beforehand, for the external components, there could be a better set than Slayer. I would recommend Slayer starting off, but there's always more available out there, and I know there's more options, but I'm just using Slayer for right now just to show you guys. That's the full set I have done and I can show you. Now, we're going to go to Power Beyond mobbing build. You see how I have 2 different bossing builds. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Now, with that being said, for mobbing, you're going to want to have this Power Beyond. But if you don't have Ultimate Blair fully maxed out with what it requires right here, then you won't be able to get this, if that makes sense. I hope that makes a lot of sense. Now, granted, without this still would do a lot of damage, but you're going to get, if you have a perfect skill power increase with a plus 15% with attack reduction, skill effect range of 12%, which is very good. It could be perfect, but it's not perfect, so it could always be better. Now, this move, next level recipe, changes your first and to where you can walk instead of whatever it was originally. Now, you have your skill cooldown very high right here. You can have it to where your dimension is, you could stack this on top of each other for a certain extent to do more damage, if that makes sense. Now, you are wanting to have emergency measures and front lines, mainly for skill critical hit rate and critical hit damage. You're going to want focus on fire and MP conversion. MP conversion for skill cooldown, and then skill cooldown plus fire skill power boosted ratio. It doesn't matter if you want. You can choose whatever you mid-air maneuvering or whatever one you would like. I choose mid-air maneuvering because I mainly use the car, the bike, but With honestly, you want HP. You can always take out the HP if you want, but you're gonna suffer a lot. Now, I have skill duration up with outstanding investment. I also have focus on dimension with dimension skill power up, and then I also have my skill cooldown minus 25%. Now, I'm gonna show you guys what this does, how everything works. But before we do that, let's talk about. I gotta switch this. So you're gonna want to have burning vulnerability. Burn vulnerability. When attacking enemies inflict with burn applies additional skill attack. Basic skill power boost ratio 9.5%. And this is what you're gonna want your arcade tuning for mobbing. You're gonna want to have skill power, skill power, skill power. You're gonna have skill cost, skill effect range. But you could do more damage with this, but I wanted skill cooldown minus because with honestly you can buffer between these, but if you want to do double the damage on your first, I would recommend this one per se. But honestly, with this all being said, I would recommend going for skill power if you want to do more damage. But if you want more cooldown, I would go for skill cooldown. But this is what I'm rocking right now. Now, skill critical hit rate is high as a butt cheek. Sorry, I have weird ways I say things. Now, with that being said, let's show Legion of Darkness at 260, at 50, at straight. You guys ready? You can also use your third while you are using your abilities. And then you can double stack. Then you're going to want to use your second if you want to get more. And I'm doing a lot for mobbing wise. And then you're going to want to consume it again. And then use your third. And see, watch. I'm not going to run out. And then when you have Nell, yeah, you see the damage I'm doing? Now, because if you have everyone into one, you can literally, if you have like a Dia, you can have them and then you could just fucking nuke the fuckers. Yeah, you see my damage? Holy shit. And then I'm gonna combine them. Do that. Combine them. And do that again. See, I never run out. There's a higher chance I won't run out as long as I constantly yeah, you can do hella damage. Now, I could have kept going if I wanted to, but I was just trying to show you. Yeah, see that extra millions of damage I'm doing when I'm not, it's just hitting them? So, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit your first, hit your third. If you have energy, you can do your second, grab it more back, do your first, do your third, get your energy back, your first, second, energy, third, energy, second, first, energy, first, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, you get what I'm saying. Basically, you can repeat it. Now, if I really wanted to, that basically doesn't do shit. Now, with that being said, let's show you my bossing. So, bossing, I'll explain that in a second. So let's start with, this is the firearm attack one, but I'll do a separate video on that because I really want to get that going, but I want to make sure that I'm doing the proper build for him before I tell you. Now, I am going to show you, so instead of skill cooldown, I have skill attack, skill critical hit damage, and then I still have the basic attack for burn vulnerability. That's what you're going to want. Now, with that being said, I gotta switch to this one. It is not completely done. You could do more than what I'm about to do with what I have. Also, granted, so I have fire skill power, which fires everything, right? But for him, it's dimension, and dimension will give you more. If you have dimension, it's good for both. I honestly don't mind whatever one I have works. Fire or dimension, you don't have to have dimension if you don't want to. People are going to tell you to have dimension. I honestly think if you want fire, and if you get lucky with a fire and a skill like I did, I would get I would use this. Now, granted, I'm still using Slayer. You could still have a different build like I said previously, so I won't dwell on it. Now, here's my bossing OG. This is the one you're going to use. Even with or without this, with the bossing 2.0, you're going to use this one too. Now, granted, with the bossing OG, you are going to have basically all of these. I'm going to let you look at them for a second. Let you look at them, take a picture, take a screenshot, do what you need to do. I basically am going to show you what Killer Recipe does. Killer Recipe does a skill critical hit rate increase with critical hit rate. Skill critical hit damage increase at 30%, with skill power modifier increases 50. When attacking enemies inflicted with a burn, with the skill applies additional stats to deal damage. When attacking or defeating enemies inflicted with a burn with a skill, acquires Chef's Touch. Chef's Touch is removed after being out of combat for a certain amount of time. Your deadly feat, well, you have to aim it, and it aims and strictly hits. When you're using skill, aims at enemies, fires Chef's Touch using crosshairs designed to target, and the fire button to release can be cancelled using the aim button. So, when using a skill recovery MP proportional amount of own Chef's Touch, this cannot be used without Chef's Touch. So, fires a meatball. The meatball explodes on contact and explosive damage. The number of meatballs fire increases when skill duration reaches a certain value. So, my skill duration up is plus 57%. I'm going to show you this OG, bossing OG. It's basically the one you're going to want to go for first. But, when you talk about bossing 2.0, you are going to want to have Chef's Resolution. I took out Nimble Fingers because it's 25% off cooldown. Really don't need, you kind of need it, it doesn't really matter per se, but it does a lot if you want a lot of skill cooldown, but you're really not going to need that if you can one-shot bosses. Now, I have Dimension Skill Modifier plus 113, and then Fire Skill Power Boost of 81% with a singular, which I could easily switch out singular, but this is the best I've got so far, and I've been taking a while trying to perfect this, so I just wanted to get a video out as fast as possible. With skill cooldown, it sucks. It brings us down a lot, but really not going to matter. Now, I'm going to show you bossing OG first, which you're going to want to have. Any of them works, but we're going to do Frostwalker for now. You're going to see the differences in damage. See how I only did 14 with that? And then with this. And now we use our fourth. That brings it to 78. So now, with that being said, we're going to switch it. We're going to eliminate. We are going to switch it over to bossing 2.0. Make sure my bossing is on yes. And then you go over here. Also, with the invasion reinforcements, you can obviously do more, but I haven't got that done yet. So, And with this we can do more when this is maxed out. So now with that being said, let's show you guys a 2.0 build. Alright, ready? See how I've already done more? And then what you're gonna want to do is see how I did more? I literally did almost less than 50 million more. Granted, it's not fully done, but it could be. It's really well. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you that with it just being us, that we would be able to knock out Obstructor without issue. And then we only used our first, by the way, mind you. Now, let me show you Gluttony, because Gluttony is a neutral. Granted, if you get into a party with 4 people doing Gluttony, you're probably not going to one-shot them on your own. You're going to want to maybe, what's the build I have, you'll be lucky. Now, let's try Death Stalker. I didn't hit him all the way, so we're gonna have to reset it. Could be the best. I don't think he's good against Death Stalker really that well. But I'm gonna at least show you.
Burn, baby, burn. And voila!
So that's how much I could do with him on Death Stalker. Death Stalker is not the best for. I would. It's a little hard for what I have right now. Now, granted, you're gonna want to focus on this more. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you leave a like, comment, maybe subscribe. It will mean the world to me. I'm sorry that I'm not the best at explaining. I hope how I explained showed courtesy and showed respect and showed that you guys could do this, and that I wish that you guys would stay here and support me and more, because more will be coming. With that being said, this is Fugitive Wolf signing off.